If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
For a gift that goes beyond the holidays, don't miss the Xfinity Beyond Black Friday event. Ask how to get $150 back on a package with the ultimate Wi-Fi and Xfinity X1. Your all-in-one entertainment experience. Simple, easy, awesome. Click, call, or visit us today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
With Domino's week-long carry-out deal, you can carry out large 3-topping pizzas and now medium 3-topping handmade pan pizzas for $7.99 each. It's pan-tastic news.
Cut. Puns?
You mean pans? Calling all pan addicts for 2 layers of cheese on crispy golden crust. So grab your panty packs, because Domino's large 3-topping pizzas and medium 3-topping handmade pan pizzas are $7.99 each. It's pandemonium. Fantastico. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. With Domino's week-long carry-out deal, you can carry out large 3-topping pizzas and now medium 3-topping handmade pan pizzas for $7.99 each. It's fantastic news.
Cut. Puns?
You mean pans? Calling all pan addicts for 2 layers of cheese on crispy golden crust. So grab your panty packs, because Domino's large 3-topping pizzas and medium 3-topping handmade pan pizzas are $7.99 each. It's pandemonium. Fantastico. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary.
You're listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available as podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Oh, this feels like the final football match between 2 soccer warriors. Oh my God, can somebody please tell me what the African formation is? Oh, it's 4-4-2, amazing. Cool stuff. That's just super amazing, isn't it? Africa Business Radio is doing 4-4-2 on the news with 40% Nigerian stories, 40% African stories, and 20% global stories. Now that's what I call a homegrown, heart-breaking goal! Go! Yes. Go!
You're listening to Africa Business News on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Africa Business Radio at noon. I am God's baby. Customs forcefully collect 300,000 naira from us. Shoe dealers cry out. Members of the Shoe Dealers Association have raised the alarm over what they considered an unnecessary harassment by men of the Nigerian Customs Services, NCS, calling on the Comptroller General of Customs to immediately intervene. Organizing Secretary of the Association and member of the North Multivarious Traders Union of Nigeria, Umar, cited Lagos-Jos roads where his members witnessed undue embarrassment. Umar claimed that members of his association always buy their goods from open markets in Lagos, which are not illegal markets. Quote, "The most annoying aspect of the whole drama was that the customs men demanded and forcefully collected 300,000 naira from our members on November 22nd as they were returning home from Lagos to Jos. They were coming from Lagos to Jos, and the articles they bought were not illegal. These were not contraband materials, but they were arrested and later released after paying the requested amount, 300,000 naira. Our worry, however, is that last week we heard the Director General of Customs saying that his men should not collect any money from traders or stop them from conveying traders. But unfortunately, custom officials on the road have neglected the clarion call, harassing us as if we are going contrary to the country's aspiration. So we are urging government to take necessary steps to stop the illegal extortion by the custom officials on the road." End quote. Federal government spends 1.3 trillion naira on importation in 12 months, according to the CBN. In the last 12 months of the federal government have spent not less than 1.3 trillion naira on the importation of rice, fish, sugar and wheat as disclosed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Apex Bank, CBN. CBN's Deputy Governor, Corporate Services, Mr. Edward Lamitek, called for a push in local production of these commodities because it puts a lot of pressure on the country's import bill. Further oil production cuts required to keep oil price above $40 per barrel in 2020. The production of new oil cuts must be announced by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, OPEC+, to keep the price of oil above $40 per barrel. Latest report from Rystad Energy claims that the global oil market could be profoundly oversupplied by 0.8 million barrels per day BPD in the first half of 2020, leading to a decline in oil prices by 5% per month. If this happens as projected, we can expect a 30% drop over the last half in the first half of 2020. Meanwhile, head of oil market research of Rystad Energy, Chiona Tonhagen, expresses concern about the bleak outlook of OPEC doesn't agree to the additional cuts, although Minister of State for Petroleum Resources in Nigeria, Temipri Silva, has assured OPEC of compliance to cuts because the implementation of the 2020 budget will be hugely affected if oil prices fall below the proposed standards.
Oh, this feels like the final football match between two soccer warriors. Oh my God, can somebody please tell me what the African formation is? Oh, it's 4-4-2. Amazing. Cool stuff. That's just super amazing, isn't it? Africa Business Radio is doing 4-4-2 on the news with 40% Nigerian stories, 40% African stories, and 20% global stories. Now that's what I call a homegrown, heart-breaking goal. Go, 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 go. Yes. Go. Oh, this feels like the final football match between two soccer warriors.
You're listening to Africa Business News on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Welcome back. Those were the Nigerian stories making the rounds this morning on Business Side. And of course, now let's get into the business stories from the shores of Africa on Africa's Business Radio. Half Zimbabwe's population to face man-made starvation, according to WFP. An estimated $293 million is required immediately for the World Food Programme's WFP's emergency response to meet the growing needs of the hardest-hit Zimbabweans facing severe food shortages. According to WFP, the international donor agency is rapidly expanding an already sizable emergency operation in Zimbabwe, where flooding and macroeconomic meltdown have plunged at least 7.7 million people into severe hunger. The report claims that only 30% of the required $293 million have been secured, but also add that a plan to double that number by January 2020 is underway. The trouble in Zimbabwe is as a result of the shortage in foreign currency, runaway inflation, lack of fuel, unemployment, prolonged power outages, and large livestock losses, which has affected Zimbabweans. Nairobians grapple with water shortage as rain flood the streets. Nairobi County residents will, for a while longer, continue to endure water rationing despite the heavy rains. The city started rationing water in January 2017. The most affected areas including Langata, Umoja, Githurai, and Zimmerman. Not much is expected to change soon, according to the reports. Water Executive Exka Kangogo said the rationing will likely continue until mid-2020. Ms. Kangogo explained, however, that the measure is not the result of lack of water, is that water treatment systems can only process 526,000 cubic meters daily against the demand of 790,000 daily. It is therefore estimated that demand increases by 20,000 cubic meters annually. The system requires that we treat water before releasing it. There will always be a deficit since we cannot release water directly from the source to consumers, end quote, the voice of Mrs. Kangogo. A spot check by the nation revealed a worrying trend as residents seek solution to water drought. Some areas affected have seen invasion by vendors and boozers operators who sell water whose sources are quite unknown. Mrs. Awua, whose house uses at least 50 litres per day, said that when the water does not flow on Sunday, they spend at least 150 shillings daily buying it from vendors whose arbitrarily high prices making an easy killing on the scarcity of water. The rains, she said, should mean enough water to assuage the situation, but no solution appears forthcoming. That's what's making the news this afternoon from Africa. We'll get to the foreign news shortly. Stay with us. It's Africa Business Radio on the news.
I am an African entrepreneur. This is my point of view. This is my position. An overlook of business in my continent. This is my African perspective on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Hi, my name is Philip Tunde. I'm a travel advocate from Nigeria. This is my African perspective. As Africans, I think we have for a long time wallowed in self-pity about the things that happened to us many years ago by the colonialists. And I think as Africans, it's high time we understood that things that happened in the past should not determine our future. It's high time we understood that we have power. It's high time we understood that we have the resources, and not just having the resources, we have the ability and the human capital to actually make these resources make sense, to actually make sure that Africa becomes a destination where people would want to come to do tourism, where people would want to come to take natural resources for a fee, where people would want to come for rich human capital. This will actually make us the giants that we have been destined to be. I want an African where every continent are at the table discussing. The meal shouldn't be Africa. Africa should actually be on the table as well to discuss where the world is going to. I want an African where people are talking about progress. We should be at the forefront championing causes. I want an Africa where people are thinking about donations. It shouldn't be Africa that you should be thinking about donations for. Africa should be actually donating for causes in trying to solve problems everywhere else in the world too. We shouldn't always be at the receiving end. And I strongly believe Africa will be great again because we have been great. I think Africa can actually be great again because it is evident that we actually have all it takes to be great. This is my African perspective.
I am an African entrepreneur. This is my point of view. This is my position. An overlook of business in my continent. This is my African perspective on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa. You're listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available as podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Welcome. You're still listening to the news, Africa Business News on Africa Business Radio. Now from the international scene. Pound sterling jumps against euro in the face of political leads. Sterling has since jumped after the opinion poll suggested that UK would avoid a hung parliament after next week's election. However, the pound reached a 7-month high against dollar and its highest against euro since May 2017. Meanwhile, the move came after the poll suggested a 10 points lead for the Conservative Party and a parliamentary majority. Although analysts cautioned against relying too much on polls and that the pound gained momentum after it went past the $1.30 marks. According to Foley from Rabobank, said the pound's rise was a result of technical reasons after it went over the psychological $1.30 levels, adding that the pound gained as much as 0.83% on Wednesday to touch $1.31, while against the euro as it hit up to high 1.83, up by 0.84%. Cyber Monday expected to rake in record U.S. sales. According to the report found on Black Friday, retailers were poised for record-breaking Cyber Monday sales following blockbuster spending in this year's Black Friday events. The consumers in the U.S. were expected to spend $9.4 billion, which is equivalent of 7.3 billion euros online. Reports found on the Black Friday, a global shopping event held last week, raked in the record of $7.4 billion in the U.S. It measures transactions from 80 of the 100 U.S. online retailers, which found the biggest selling items on Black Friday. The bumper sales comes amid criticism from the activists over the environmental impact of the annual shopping sprees. And that was the Africa Business News Update at 12 on Africa Business Radio. I am God's Baby. We'll bring you more at 3. Stay with us.
You're listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available as podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
With Domino's week-long carry-out deal, you can carry out large 3-topping pizzas and now medium 3-topping handmade pan pizzas for $7.99 each. It's fantastic news.
Cut. Puns?
You mean pans? Calling all pan addicts for 2 layers of cheese on crispy golden crust. So grab your panty packs, because Domino's large 3-topping pizzas and medium 3-topping handmade pan pizzas are $7.99 each. It's pandemonium. Fantastico. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Old moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you, too. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Holiday tips and fun facts from Paul, Kristen, and Dexter at Total Wine & More.
There's something celebratory about Bubbles. Our ridiculous selection of champagne and sparkling wines will make the holidays pop.
Who couldn't use a friendly wine elf? I can help you find the perfect bottle at just the right price.
Deep frying a turkey this year? A rich and earthy Chateau Neuf de Pop would make an interesting pairing.
Whether you're entertaining or just bringing the wine, we'd love to share our always low prices and ridiculous selection with you this holiday. Now offering same-day delivery at TotalWine.com. Cheers!
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see you practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.